Two celestials landed on shore and wrung out the water from their bundles with their hands. They climbed up the red clay slope and reached the top of the hill, where they had a broad view of the wild and magnificent scenery. There were forests of Altingia chinensis, alpine pine, larch, longleaf pine, blue pine, hemlock, cold fir, spruce, unicorn leaves, lipstick plant, highland oak, birch, alder, poplar, and cypress, among which were bushes such as small artemisia, purple needlegrass, sand-binding grass, camelthorn, fruit-bearing ephedra, Sympegma regilii, tumbleweed, sand needlegrass, bush cinquefoil, sheep fescue, alpine knotweed, rhododendron shrubs, club moss, red sand willow, roundhead smartweed, Chinese pearly everlasting, Chinese cinquefoil, dark brown sedge, marsh marigold, kidney-leaved groundsel, cushion catmint, time-leaved sandwort, fairies snow, snow lotus flower, shining needlegrass, saxaul, great burnet, and other plants. Pheasants, ring-necked pheasants, yellow pheasants, peacocks, chikar partridge, parrots, collared doves, quails, and other birds are running around among them. As they wandered through this diverse flora, they kept an eye out for raspberries and eventually found a few bright, translucent red fruits. They stood next to the small bush and picked and ate them. After finishing, they continued their winding journey through the sparsely wooded mountain slope. Unaware of how long they had been walking, they eventually crossed the red plateau and entered the Sangnagir grassland. Was vast, covering an area of more than 200 square kilometers. After crossing the grassland in a canyon, they were close to Crane Ridge, which was equivalent to arriving at Seven Fragrances Garden. Hori said, "Sister, I'm a little tired. Let's rest here for a while," looking a little exhausted. "Okay. Let me hold you and lie down for a while," replied Hai. The two celestial sisters lay down on the soft grassland, and Hori snuggled up to Hai, facing each other. After a while, they fell asleep. Clip-clop. The sound of horse hooves approached closer and closer. Hai and Hori woke up at the same time, sat up, and looked around. They saw four horses galloping a few hundred meters away, one chestnut red, one black, one pure white, and one black and white. Each horse was ridden by a handsome man who was racing and chasing. Hai and Hori stood up quickly, waved their arms, and shouted, "Hey! Hey! Hey!" The horsemen heard the shouting and galloped towards Hai and Hori. They arrived in the blink of an eye and circled around Hai and Hori. Then, the four men dismounted, and one of them named Dayue eagerly asked, "Where are you two from? Where are you going? What are your names? Do you need our help?" Hai excitedly replied, "My name is Hai, and her name is Hori. We came from the Butterfly Peak in Lotus Mountain, and we are going to Seven Fragrances Garden. How about you? Where are you from?" One of the four, Dayue, added, "We are from Seven Fragrances Garden. He is Raji, Gaxiu, Fubo, and I am Dayue. We are racing horses. Welcome to stay in Seven Fragrances Garden." Raji said, "Fubo and I will go and inform all the celestials in Seven Fragrances Garden that you have arrived. Gaxiu and Dayue will take care of you too." After saying that, Raji and Fubo mounted their horses and galloped away in a flash. Everyone watched Raji and Fubo disappear, and the sharp-featured and well-built Dayue couldn't help but say to Hai and Hori, "Welcome to Seven Fragrances Garden, two celestial sisters. I am Dayue, and I warmly welcome you. I would like to be a swift horse for you to ride, and a spring pool for you to bathe in." Gaxiu, with a handsome and graceful face, couldn't wait to flatter and said, "Brother is born for younger sister, and I will fulfill her every wish. From now on, we will gather at the Seven Fragrances Garden, and I will serve you under your skirt every day." Hai affectionately touched Gaxiu's face and said with a smile, "The little baby is so obedient. After we arrive at the Seven Fragrances Garden, I will give you a chance every day to wash my fragrant feet." As she spoke, she laughed merrily. Hori asked Dayue with a smile, "Are you a good boy? If you are, then you can lie down and smell my feet under my skirt." Dayue immediately knelt in front of Hori and tried to smell her feet. Hori pulled him up and kissed his forehead affectionately and said, "You are really a good boy. From now on, sister will give you a chance every day to wash my butt." She burst into laughter, and Gaxiu and Dayue also joined in laughter. Their relaxed and pleasant laughter echoed across the Sangnagir grassland. The sky and the earth were so vast and pure, and nature was so harmonious and auspicious. It was beautiful. Before Hori finished laughing, clever Dayue picked her up and placed her on the red horse. He handed her the reins and climbed onto the horse behind her. Gaxiu followed suit and lifted high onto the black horse. The four of them slowly rode towards the Seven Fragrances garden. Colorful clouds float above Crane Ridge, and phoenixes grace the Seven Fragrances garden. Auspiciousness permeates the celestial realm, promising everlasting happiness, sang Dayue energetically. Ascend into the vibrant clouds and behold. The thousand-year world, our homeland, lies all around. Graceful in body and mind, our souls soar freely. We offer thanks to heaven, earth, and the greatest creator, Hori sang in harmony. Clouds flying, water flowing, celestial cranes dancing, and flowers exuding fragrance. Brothers lead sisters back to their homeland, hearts and spirits intoxicated with joy. The melody of happiness resounds throughout the journey, Gaxiu sang along. Light steps, minds and bodies brimming with vitality. It's akin to a dream, entering a fantasy realm. Where green mountains and clear waters harmonize, waves gently ripple, and mandarin ducks frolic. Every corner of the homeland teems with delight, Hai joined in the song. As they walked, conversed, and sang, they soon departed the Sangnagir grasslands, reaching the wind-singing canyon. Towering rocks and peaks adorned the canyon, while exotic flowers bloomed in profusion. Every breeze produced a melodious resonance, echoing through the valley. The winding path ahead was challenging, prompting Dayue's suggestion to let the horses run. Hori and Hai tightened their grips on the reins, urging the chestnut red and black horses, resembling fairy tale creatures, to gallop. Dayue and Gaxiu embraced Hori and Hai tightly from behind. The rhythmic movement and the warmth of their embrace stirred a sense of relaxation and comfort, signaling the onset of estrus, amidst this enchanting ambience reminiscent of an impending storm. The four celestials remained silent, not knowing how much time had passed until they emerged from the canyon, spotting a group of horses galloping toward them. It was Raji and Fubo, leading villagers from Seven Fragrances garden to greet them. "Hey! We're here!" Dayue shouted loudly, and the two horses carried the four celestials forward to meet the group of celestials. When they were still more than 100 meters away from the horse herd, Raji, who was sitting on a pure white horse, shouted loudly, "Everyone, line up to welcome them." The group of celestials shook their reins, and instantly more than 30 horses formed a line in a formation. The chestnut red and black horses, with Dayue, Hori, and Gaxiu riding them, rushed to the front of the line. They lifted their hooves, approached, neighed a few times, and then stopped. It could be heard, the group of celestials shouting in unison, "Welcome the distant celestials to Seven Fragrances garden." Hori and Hai, sitting on their horses, bent down and clasped fists to salute everyone, saying, "Thank you all for coming to meet us. We greet and salute all the brothers and sisters of Seven Fragrances garden. Let's go." Raji shouted, leading the way toward Seven Fragrances garden, and the others followed suit. The horses Hai and Hori rode were among the group, and everyone rode together in high spirits and excitement, arriving at Seven Fragrances garden in no time. Seven Fragrances garden is located at the foot of Crane Ridge in the cloud-piercing mountains. Nearly 300 celestial mansions were built along the mountainside, with peach and apricot fairy trees mixed in between, surrounded by exotic flowers and plants. The sunny and beautiful scenery is adorned with auspicious signs and a warm atmosphere brought by hundreds of birds. Everyone gathered around Hai and Hori and arrived at the welcome celestials garden of Seven Fragrances garden. They served up the delicious liquor nourishing juice of the thousand-year world, pick the unique 8 treasures: ginseng fruit and flower buds, milk fruit of the 1,000-year world. The respected Beijian of 7 Fragrances Garden welcomed them and said, "Thanks to the greatest creator for his kindness, and for bestowing the arrival of Hai and Hori at 7 Fragrances Garden. To express our welcome to Hai and Hori, we will hold entertainment activities for 3 days, with the following projects. 1. Singing and dancing in the Welcome Celestials Garden. 2. Visiting Crane Ridge together. 3. Boating in the Lake Bay. 4. Poetry competition in the 100 Fruits Orchard. 5. Exhibition of skills and craftsmanship. 6. Performance in the Joyful Square. 7. Guessing riddles and telling stories. 8. Sermon in Sublimation Garden. Now, let Dayue and Gaxia take Hai and Hori to their respective celestial mansions to rest for a while, and then everyone can gather at the Welcome Celestial Garden to sing and dance with joy."